looking at you that time.
I got many crazy stories about New York, Joe. One of these days.
Yep.
Well, don't all go quiet just because I hit the button. It's just so I won't forget.
Well, I gotta make sure I don't say any profanities.
Nah, don't worry about that. I don't see anybody else in the waiting room, and we're close enough to 10 after the hour. I guess we can jump on and get started. So welcome, Warren, welcome, Patrick. Appreciate you guys for jumping on with us for a Friday boot camp. This is our first on the Nutanix Era product, which is also now known as Nutanix Database Services, right? So got a new name, a few more features, but we want to be able to go through this with you today. As you can see, we've got a full house. I've got Mr. Paul Nguyen with me, who's normally with me for all the boot camps. How are you today, Paul?
Very good. Again, my name is Paul Nguyen. I'm the channel senior SE for covering XenTegra and all the partners here on the East Coast. I have another counterpart that covers, well, I guess the whole squad is here as well. I have Joe on the line. I also have Kristen Gauthier, and I think Rob is also on. So if you guys want to do a quick introduction to yourselves as well, we're all on the same team, Nutanix.
I'm Joe Denave. I am the channel engineer that handles distribution for Nutanix. So I work with the distribution, well, all of the distributors in North America and Canada, as well as some of their partners.
I'm Rob Cochran, even though it says Joe Denave on my picture screen. I'm a senior channel SE for the East Coast, covering everything south of the Carolinas and east of the Mississippi. I also have responsibilities to several of our national channel partners as well.
I'm Kristen Gauthier. I am a channel SE for the Northeast, all New England and New York, and I am a peer to Paul, and I'm about 2 months into my Nutanix role, and I'm mostly here for observation, but glad to meet everyone. Thank you.
And so I think we also have Mike on the call as well. He's also
yeah, so I was hired just a couple of weeks ago, and I'm part of the, there's a new team that we've created called the Autonomous Team, where we're helping the partners be more autonomous in the ordering process, to be able to, you know, like partners like you, to be able to go through the whole sales process with very little intervention from us going through disti. So that's something that we kicked off that we're going to try to launch quickly. And I'm based out of Miami, South Miami, actually.
Yeah, so Warren, if you get tired of the brick and mortar of New York City, come on down to Florida, hang out.
Yeah, that is nice.
Yeah.
A lot of people moving there.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, a lot.
I've also got with me Miss Kathy. Miss Kathy, why don't you give yourself an introduction?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm with XenTegra. I'm in the marketing department, and I'm just here to help host this boot camp. And we're excited to get this series started. So welcome, everybody.
Wonderful. And I'm Harvey Green, one of the solutions architects here at XenTegra. Also run the XenTegra SLED division called XenTegra Gov. And very happy to be recognized this year as a Nutanix Technology Champion. So lots going on over here with us, but we're definitely happy you guys joined us today to talk through Era and well, Nutanix Database Services. I gotta stop doing that. I call things the old name all the time. So wanted to go through, we've gone through introductions, wanted to go through a little bit about XenTegra. And I know Patrick has already heard of us going to some of the events already. Warren, how much have you been exposed to XenTegra?
Not too much. I attend the webinar maybe a couple of times,
Okay,
and that's it.
so perfect. Then you probably heard a little bit of this, but I'll go through it anyway, just in case you get to learn something new today about XenTegra. So very first one is we are giving away a Bronco. So if you haven't already, go out to bronco.xentegra.com and sign up there so that you can be in the sweepstakes to win it. We've got a sweepstakes that just ended for 2022, so we're about to do that giveaway very soon, but you'll be joining for the 2023 giveaway, so hopefully you'll get an even newer Bronco with some new features out of it. So feel free to jump out to bronco.xentegra.com and sign up there. A little bit more about XenTegra. We are a value-added reseller. Nutanix, getting an echo there. Nutanix Cloud Champion Partner. We are very much priding ourselves in being kind of an end-to-end partner with you as a customer. So we support, multiple vendors. We support multiple public cloud offerings. We do some private cloud offerings as well as managed services and hosted services if you need that. So very much end-to-end, complete with consulting services team as well, who's well-versed in all of the technologies that we support. The big one in the room today being Nutanix. So we've definitely got some strengths there. We also will help with doing complimentary micro assessments, which you'll see at the bottom in the middle, across a bunch of different technologies. If you have any projects or things coming up that you need some help across, we'll definitely be able to jump in and help you with, things all the way from the beginning of exploring exactly what certain terms or certain offerings mean, all the way through design sessions and implementations for whatever technology you're choosing to go with. So let me know if you have any questions about that, and we'll definitely be able to interface with you and help out from that perspective. As a team, XenTegra has a little over 700 years of combined experience in the EUC space. We've again got a full staff of consultants to go along with the other solutions engineers like me that can help you from, again, just exploring what something means, like today going over what Nutanix database services or Nutanix Era can do for you, all the way through helping you actually implement it and make it a reality. So definitely got plenty of experience on our team helping customers just like you move from what is this to we got it in. This is a picture of Andy Whiteside, who's the founder and CEO of XenTegra. He came up with XenTegra because of how he had some frustrations in the market, in the partner landscape, and this is kind of a quote from him about XenTegra. It says XenTegra was born out of a need for customer enablement and true partnership. We are very much built on true partnership, going through the fire with you, kind of holding your hand the whole way through, not just, hey, here's this one thing we want to sell you and we'll see you in 3 years when it's time to renew it. We're very much involved in your journey the entire way through as much as you want us to be. And again, we can, we range from just helping you accomplish something to doing the whole thing for you. So definitely got a good staff around us. This is a picture of the team. It has definitely grown since this picture, but this is a picture from us winning a Partner of the Year award in 2019. We've got actually 2019. So 2020, we also won Partner of the Year there. That's both of these is for Citrix. But we've got expertise again around lots of other things. Again, you're on right now for Nutanix, so definitely happy to help out with Nutanix, and we're still working on our Partner of the Year for Nutanix too. So,
Oh, it's coming. Don't worry.
I will see to it that I'm doing my best for that to happen. The more important thing is that we're Partner of the Year for all of our customers. So. Events.XenTegra.com is where we list out all of the events that we have going on, some in person, some virtual. I'm hoping that's where you guys saw what was going on and joined some of the events. But again, as you see those, as you want to jump out there with us or just jump on with us for a virtual event, we're definitely hosting them. We do a lot of events. So definitely jump out there and see what delights you, what you want to jump into. We've got webinars that we do for our Webinar Wednesday series at webinars.XenTegra.com. This is mostly where we go over either a particular new technology or a new feature out of a current technology, just to make sure, again, that we're getting the knowledge out there to help train you guys on what needs to be done and how it needs to be done, or just, what new features are out there for you to take a look at. And, usually we'll have a demo question and answer session as well in each of the webinars. Podcast.XenTegra.com is where you can go to take a look and listen at all of the podcasts that we have going. I think at this point we have 9 different podcasts that we're doing as a group today. I am one of the co-hosts for the Nutanix Weekly podcast that we put out. So you'll see new content from those once a week. And Andy Whiteside's also on it, as well as Jaira Cox, who's a Nutanix SE. We have a very, very diverse customer base here at XenTegra. If you look through this slide here, just see a few names, few verticals, all the way down from education. You see on there represented. You see financial represented. You see TV, right? HBO, construction, healthcare. We've got a bunch of different entities and different verticals that we service, and so no company's too big, too small, and no vertical is outside of our reach. A lot of these things, again, as you look at everything that we service, everything that we do, that those things translate across verticals. So we're available for anybody to be able to consume our services and all of the crazy free things we do, like this workshop today. Again, XenTegra is a value-added reseller with an emphasis on the value-added. We do consulting services, we do managed services, we do hosting services, and ultimately, right, we want to get you to making sure that we're presenting you and helping you implement the best solution that we can for your workload, for your users, and ultimately to help help the business grow, right? And all in all, to make you look good while all of that's going on. Again, just a breakdown here of all the things that, well, I say all the things, so some of the things that XenTegra does, because we do a whole lot more than this too. But again, the main point of this is we've got all of these things. We have all of the partners, vendor partners that we work with. It gives you a single point of contact, a single vendor to work with to help you through all of the different, twists and turns that you have to go through. No IT organization can do everything with just one vendor, one solution. So we do a lot in taking your jigsaw puzzle and helping you put it together well, and make sure that it fits for what you need. Partners.XenTegra.com is where you'll find the list of all the partners that we work with, like Nutanix. Nutanix is one of our focus partners, so one of our most important partners that we work with. But again, you'll see the list of all of the rest of the technologies that we work with that that can pair well with your environment and pair well with Nutanix as well. That's at partners.XenTegra.com. So XenTegra Connect is where we do our managed and hosted services from. We also have a 24/7, 365 help desk at XenTegra Connect. Again, this was something that we put together so that we can continue to support our clients with multiple vendor support. So Nutanix support, completely great. I mean, absolutely great. I've had to use them before myself. And being the techie that I am, right, I don't necessarily like to call support, but the Nutanix support has actually been very, very good for years over at this point. So definitely recommend Nutanix support. But again, as we continue to grow together from a partner standpoint, if you somehow make your way out of Nutanix support, or you have something else going on that's outside of Nutanix and what their support would help you with, then we definitely encourage you to utilize our desk for that. These are a set of the cloud partners that we work with. You can see Nutanix, Citrix, VMware, Microsoft. We do AWS, we do GCP. There are more to get the picture across than what's here, but this is a sampling of what we can help you out with. XenTegra staffing. We do have a staffing division. If you guys are experiencing any hires or looking for any hires that you have currently, we'll be happy to try to source a replacement or a resource that you need for a new hire. Definitely just get that information over to us. And if you're looking for a job, then you can go out to jobs.XenTegra.com, and we have some listings there. You can spread that to your friends and family as well, or your IT friends that are out looking. We've got a bunch of jobs that we stick out there on a regular basis. We've talked a little bit about the free assessments already. Again, we've got them across a bunch of different technologies, and we do a lot of these actually. They're about a half-a-day assessment with one of our engineers. You do actually get a document deliverable back where we're going through your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We'll all hop on the line and actually go through that information as well, so that you not only have a set of our recommendations, but that we discuss them with you, so that we can either help you come up with a strategy to move toward a best practices standpoint, or you can definitely just say, hey, I don't want to do it, you guys take care of it, and we can do that for you too. Again, cost to action that we can do. We can help you plan for the future. We can quote out what you need from that standpoint. We can help you demo new technologies that you haven't worked with yet. And we do also offer the consulting services, the professional services, to be able to help you implement whatever it is that you have in front of you. That is my spiel on XenTegra there. So if you guys have any questions, please just blurt them out. We are here. We're a very intimate group here today, so more than happy to hear from you.
Cool. If you guys don't mind, it does take about 15 minutes to 20 minutes for an instance to spin up for your lab. However, if you can put in the chat the link to
I'm doing that.
lab. Click on the link when you see in the chat. It should be the box there that says simplified database operations. On the right-hand side, put in your email and go ahead and register. And it should spin up an instance for you for within the next 15, 20 minutes. So should give us plenty of time to do your PowerPoint presentation on the product. I might go through a quick demo, and then we'll do labs for the rest of the time. And let us know if you guys are running into trouble, sign up for the lab.
Yes. I'm going through that as well right now too, just to make sure that there are no issues. So far,
Cool.
good.
How long this lab open?
I don't remember for this one, but you can go back and forth and just spin up brand new instances for it.
Okay,
Yeah, you can
because
spin that as many times as you want, whenever you need to. So you can see there's other products within Nutanix as well, Warren. And then yeah, for this class we'll do databases, but on your free time, you can take a look at our different products within Nutanix umbrella as well. But we'll be here after class for another hour or two in case you have any problems. After class, we can help out. Hour or two in case you have any problems.
okay. At 2 o'clock, I have a team meeting need to attend, so maybe I need to drop off in maybe 30 minutes. So I want to know if I can do the lab later.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Cool. The objective of this class today, Warren, if you don't mind going on mute, Warren, I think we're getting an echo on your side. Thank you. So the objective today for you, Warren, is creating, right, we'll show you how to create database deployment, how to provision that, patching, recovering a database, and creating a refreshing database through Nutanix Era. Before I dive into Era, it's best to understand Nutanix and what HCI is, so you can see the benefit of using database as a service on a Nutanix platform. Warren, before I do begin, do you have Nutanix currently? Have you heard of Nutanix? I guess a scale from 1 to 5, how familiar are you? 1 being you're used to the 3-tier architecture environment. 3, you're using Nutanix now, and 5, I guess you're using Nutanix, other products within Nutanix. So I don't repeat or anything you guys that you already know.
We have Nutanix a few years ago for just POC. So I think maybe 1 or 2. And after Nutanix set up, we usually just do some maintenance. Yeah, do some upgrade.
Okay, no worries. I'll just go through this really quick, just to get you a refresher on Nutanix. It does tie into how Era works for Nutanix databases. It ties into how we read and write and control our data from there. So Warren, I'll take a step back. What HCI is, right, is your traditional 3-tier environment. This is what most customers have. You guys definitely upgraded and modernize your infrastructure through Nutanix. But what does that actually look like in your environment, and how does it help you with your day-to-day activity? So the 3-tier environment, you have, right, your network, your storage, your server, all 3 separate environments siloed out in your infrastructure. That causes what I call an 80-20 rule. 80% of your time you've not modernized to HCI. You're wasting a lot of time, right, on the different vendors within your environment, right? You might have a Dell server, a NetApp storage, Cisco networking. That's 3 different vendors you have to learn, and also you have to make sure all 3 vendors work together. So that causes you need careful integrations, specialized skills. You have to patch it correctly. You're losing a lot of time away from what makes your company money, right? Or the federal customer, what hits your mission goals. So with Nutanix, we collapse down the 3-tier into a 2U appliance that you have in your data center. That 2U appliance can be on any platform hardware you like, because Nutanix is software. We can put it on any hardware. You can see HPE, Lenovo, IBM, Cisco, or Dell. We can also do a bare metal instance on AWS as well. Warren, if you're not aware, we can also put Nutanix now on a hybrid cloud model. If you need to grow and expand, we'll add more TU nodes to your environment. We'll grow and expand. Add virtualization on top. Either EXI, Hyper-V. We do have our own pre-built hypervisor built in called AHV. Warren, if you don't mind, are you guys still running EXI, Hyper-V, or have you converted over to AHV?
Yes, XI.
EXI, okay.
7 or 7. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, we work really well. The EXI VMware. We do have about 70% customer adoption rate that does switch over to AHV. If you're not aware, we can also do conversion either in place or in flight for you. A lot of times customers test it out on DR site on AHV, and then a lot of cool features come out of AHV that you can convert over as well. So you can test it out and you can revert it back to EXI if you need. Just putting it out there that you can test out or swap back and forth. You can see K8 on there as well. So we do have built-in Kubernetes orchestration into Nutanix. Again, it's pre-built, just like AHV, so it's already in your box, ready to use, plug and play. If you need further functionality with Kubernetes and containers, we did just announce our partnership with Red Hat with OpenShift. So if you need further integration with that, we do have Red Hat as well. If there's any interest in VDI, Citrix, which is another big partner of XenTegra, did announce that we're their #1 platform of choice to house VDI. So that's very big because Citrix usually never announces things like that. So they did announce we're our #1 platform, and vice versa. They're our #1 VDI broker with the Nutanix platform. Cool. I took this picture out here from internet on the left-hand side. That's what a traditional. I've seen this at customer sites before with the traditional 3-tiered where everything's all over the place, wires all over the place, right? Connect everything with white labels, naming conventions and whatnot. Hopefully now, Warren, your right-hand side is what your data center looks like with Nutanix. Are you guys running 1 block, 2 block, or do you know how large your Nutanix environment is, Warren?
About 1,000 users in multiple data center, multiple office.
Okay, lovely. Yeah, this will fit really well with Era. Era works really well for those large environments. Hey, Pete, I see you just joining here. If you don't mind, real quick, just give an introduction to yourself before we just started, so you didn't miss too much. If you don't mind, just giving a quick introduction to yourself, where you work, and any background knowledge of Nutanix and what you're looking for in this class, if you don't mind.
All right, thank you. Thanks for the class. Sorry I was late. I was on.
Oh, no worries. We just started.
Yeah, I work at Veeam, and I'm an alliance person that covers Nutanix. So I'm interested in finding a little bit more about what Era does. I know it's a database system, but that's the reason I'm here. My background in Nutanix is fairly new. I just started going to Nutanix for 3 months. I did go to your 101 bootcamp. I got some of the basics there. Just trying to learn a little bit more of how Era fits in the whole overall scheme of Nutanix.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cool. I'll breeze through this really quick for you, Warren. Right. So in a normal environment, you're gonna have a login to different GUIs and consoles. Say Cisco, you gotta log into UCS. NetApp gotta log into file review or Snap Vault or what have you. With Nutanix, as you're familiar with, and also just going over for everyone new on the call, Nutanix is a web-based GUI. You can see we put all of our metrics into a single graphical user interface. So everything you need to see and navigate through is a single pane glass of view. We are, like I mentioned before, a truly software company. So we don't vendor lock you to anything. We give you the freedom of choice. So hypervisor of choice, again, H3 is pre-built, but you still can use VMware and Hyper-V. Platform of choice, Nutanix runs on a Supermicro, but we do partner with Dell, Lenovo, Cisco, HP, and IBM for pre-built appliances. But you can also use any server you like as long as it fits into our HCL compatibility list. But we do recommend, again, going with the appliances already pre-built, already vetted out, and as a plug-and-play appliance to use. More than what you might not know, just in case, we are moving away from just, since you looked at us a couple of years ago, we are moving away just being a simple HCI company to a more of a hybrid cloud company. If you notice, you log into any Nutanix websites, you'll see it's going to state Nutanix, the hybrid cloud company. We can now put our software on any cloud. No, I wouldn't say any cloud, but we can put it on AWS and soon Azure. So if you need to do any data migration out to AWS or Azure, we can do so as well. So if you have any elasticity data that you know is going to burst, or you need to downgrade right elasticity, we can move that out in the cloud for better spending. Or if you have databases that you need to keep near and dear to your heart, we can house it on premise within Nutanix and move it back and forth for you as well. So that is new within Nutanix, is the cloud of choice. You can see Nutanix on there because we do have our own cloud data center called Xi that you can leverage. We do have DR as a service as well. So if you don't have a DR site built, we can also send out backups and fault tolerance VMs to our cloud if you need that RPOs and RTO time efficiency. I'll pause there. Any question, concern, Warren, Pete, or you guys, it's already common knowledge for you guys?
Yep, basic stuff.
I'm good.
Cool. And Mike and Kristen, since it's a smaller group, feel free to ask any questions as well for you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Nutanix architecture, if you take a step back, right, how we came to be, our founder, Dheeraj, came from Google. So as you guys know, Google created what was called a web scale architecture. They're realizing very quick how hard it is to scale with petabytes and petabytes of data with a single point SAN solution. So what they created was a global file system, which is a software-defined storage that creates like a large storage pool. If you need to grow and expand, those add more white label servers and expand out that storage. If anything breaks or goes wrong, they just take it out and then put back in a brand new one. So fail quick, restore quick, and expand quick was the model of the Google file system. We took that approach, the Google file system approach, and then we packaged that into a 2U appliance that is Nutanix. So you're literally getting, right, the Google Cloud experience in a box. That's how I explain it to customers of mine, that Nutanix is really a cloud in the box experience. So that Google file system, we named it DSF, Distributed Storage Fabric, is where we're going to go ahead and run our storage. So you can see here, single storage pool, you would only need to create one as a DSF. We do run on a hybrid model, but we also have all flash models as well as NVMe if needed for any databases. That also ties in right to Era on databases because you do want to have flash perform for databases. If you guys are running on a hybrid model, we can commit databases to just flash so it won't tear out to your HDD. So that you always have that high I/O performance if needed. So we've got you covered there for prices, but if you do need all flash, we do have those models. What you see there, the CVM highlighted. So the CVM is the secret sauce of Nutanix. CVM just stands for Controller Virtual Machine. This is kind of, we got a claim to fame through VDI, right? Let's say, for example, you have 100 VDI users or 100 servers, right? If you have a normal SAN solution, normally they come in 1 or 2 physical controllers. That causes a bottleneck, right? Because no matter how fast your SAN is, if all the networking is jammed into that controller, right, it's bottlenecking. So if you guys ever used VDI before, if you type something, you might get jammed, and 10 seconds later, it'll start typing. That's called the bootstone effect. I've seen it firsthand in the previous company that I worked for. We eliminate that issue, right, by putting a virtual controller on every single node in their environment. That allows for more swim lanes into the environment. Think about it more as more doors into the house. So that is how we get our claim to fame, was because of VDI with the CVM. But we do more than this VDI now. We do mission critical databases, as we're going over today.
We lost you. Harvey, you're on mute too.
Sorry. No, I thought that was just me that it happened to. I'm looking around like, what just happened? Checking the internet and all of that.
And it froze mid Paul speaking, so he's just like still.
Are you gonna ping him on Slack?
Yeah, I'll do that now.
Unless we need to ping his cell phone in case his internet's down.
Right.
Still showing on Slack, so I'm honestly not sure.
We'll give him a minute. While we're giving him a minute, I'll go see if I've got an updated copy of the presentation.
I know, Harvey, you can probably go through it, right?
I can. Yep.
There, he's coming back.
All right.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, there you are.
Yeah, it looked like I froze out. I got kicked out.
No problem.
Yeah, it was odd for sure. Cool. Am I sharing the right screen? Can you guys see the PowerPoint again?
Yes.
Not sure where I left off, but I was going over the CVM.
Yeah.
The CVM also is where we house our Prism element, which manages the whole Nutanix cluster, which is the graphical user interface management that we go over, just like vCenter, but it's on every single CVM. Data locality is very big for us. And again, I'll go over this quick so I can get into Era for you, Warren. You know, that hard stop at 2. But for everyone else on the call, so data locality is our claim to fame also as well. When we write our data, it's always going to be written to the same stores as our server or as the VM resides. So if VM sits on server 1, it's always going to read or write into stores in server 1. And then we're going to swap across for replication factor for redundancy purposes. If the VM moves over, we'll read the same. If the VM moves over, we'll go ahead and move all those data as well for data locality. I've got about 10 minutes here for you, so let me breeze through. I'll go back for anyone else, but I want to get into Era for you, Warren. So with Nutanix, we're trying to cover, the marketing calls it the 4Ds. It sounds kind of funny, but we try to cover the 4Ds: data center services with stores, networking, and backup. Portion we're going over today is the DevOps services. You can see we have automation built in and database as a service, which is Era, and then desktop services with Frame and Citrix, and then we have virtualization and Kubernetes containers and security built in. So I'll go back to this at the end, but with Era, the 4 main categories of Era that we want to cover today, and you'll see in the lab when you have time to go over it, or 4 main things. We will do one-click provisioning. So we'll provision database in the back end for you. A lot of times our customers just want to build up the application. They don't really care what database or how it's being built in the back end. They just need a database to run. This is where you as a DBA can go ahead and provision out that database. One-click provisioning, we can do Postgres, MySQL, Oracle, what have you. Database protection, we can do backups depending on your RPOs and RTOs and your SLAs. We can do bronze, silver, and gold backups, and you'll see that in here in a second. Automated patching will patch a whole product for you as well as copy data management. We'll take backups. We'll either send it on-prem or to DR location where you can test dev the copy of your data. So you can see here, infrastructure services. So each side platform is the Nutanix infrastructure that I went over. What we're going to do with Era is we're going to put that on top. So Nutanix Era actually runs as a virtual appliance, right? Again, we'll install the virtual appliance, log into Era through the GUI of Era, and that's where you can manage your provisioning, your DR, your patch, time machine, and just your backups, right? And you can see up from on top the 4 main database that we cover. More to come. Right now we are at Era 2.0, but I assume more databases will be available for Nutanix Era. So you see Microsoft SQL servers on there, Oracle, PostgreSQL, and MongoDB. Cool. So why Nutanix Era? Another reason for using Era is the long provision cycle of a traditional database building. I'm not sure if any of you guys out there are DBAs, but it does take a little while to build out a database. You can see all those different steps that are involved. Say you're a developer, you're creating an app. If you want a database, you're gonna have to set up a request, specify the database config, configure the compute, set up networking, allocate that storage, create your cluster or your availability groups, your DAGs, provision them out, get it protected, and then you get out that database. Could take hours, days, or weeks. You can see those steps involves multiple teams, which could cause friction or complex process. And all that time, right, it increases your time to market out that application that you're building. With Nutanix Era, with Nutanix Era, we collapse all those into maybe 1 or 2 or 3 steps of just creating that, provision it out, set up your backup SLAs, and then we'll automatically patch that product for you. Cool. Copy data management does cause a lot of problems out in the field. If any of you guys are DBAs, before you can even test dev anything, you want to create a backup, move it elsewhere. every time you want to do a testing, right? But when you are creating a clone or a copy of that database, you can see there it's creating multiple copies of that database, sprawling across the whole entire environment, which could cause up to a lot of dollars on your storage costs because it's filling up on just copy data instead of real data you need. You can see here, 77% have minimum 200 production databases. 80% of customers have 10 copies of each database, and it's just taking up more and more storage that you don't need, and it's creating a sprawl in your secondary environment for that test bed. Cloning or fetching of databases. So we can clone your database for that test dev, right? It's going to go through a process of what we call a time machine. Again, we're running on, right, a virtual appliance. When you log into Era, you will create the source database. The time machine, pick a point in time to clone. And then depending on your SLAs, we can create clone every hour, once a day, once a week. We can also do a manual clone as well. So you can revert back to restore or create a clone to test out within that environment. The primary database does not need to be on Nutanix. You can create a replica copy or a standby, and then you can replicate between sites as well. Cool. This is what a time machine looks like. You can see if they're being done continuous, daily, they're weekly, monthly, quarterly snapshots. Anything in a triangle is the manual snapshot that you set from there. So in this timeline, you can go back from any point in time to do restore or test that out that environment. And you'll see this in either in the demo or in the lab that you're going to run. Again, you can see here, you can set it up as gold, silver, or bronze. Set up your backup schedule. And then we also have role-based access control with your employees. You can set different rules for different employees who can provision out, who can do what, and you can see who accesses your databases through the RBAC control. Warren, I apologize going through really quick because I know you said you have a hard stop at 2 o'clock. Any question, concern, comments?
Yeah, is the lab guide when we do the lab?
The link when you click, it will provision out within 15 minutes. It will log you into, right, the virtual appliance of Era, and it'll guide you through step by step what to click on, where to go, and where to navigate. Harvey, do you have spinning by chance?
Say that again. You cut out. Do I have what?
Do you have Era test drive spinning up by chance?
I do. Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop share. If you don't mind, just throwing up on the screen so you can see how it's guided throughout the environment. And it literally takes you step by step on how to go through the environment.
It literally takes just a second on how to apparently sending another code. I guess I was inactive for too long.
No worries. I got kicked out earlier.
Can.
But while we have that spin up, any other questions?
Turn it again.
First one, I know you see that hard stop. But the biggest takeaway for you, Warren, is it's a virtual appliance. You have multiple clusters. We can now do multiple cluster environments within Nutanix Era. So it uses Nutanix Era on one cluster, and then you can build out databases wherever cluster is located. We can put database out in the cloud as well. Everything will manage through that Era virtual appliance.
Okay.
Did it freeze that, Harvey?
Yeah, I'm stuck in a
Talk
loop.
to you later.
I got a question on the virtual appliance. Is how do you size it then? Does it come prepackaged or depending on the
Virtual
database
appliance
size?
or the database itself. Well, the virtual appliance is a virtual appliance, so it's already pre-built sized. And then the database is depending on the customer. When you log into database Nutanix Era, it'll ask you for certain parameters and sources for that database, and you'll enter those in. So there is a default for small, medium, and large. If you don't know the specific size you need, we do have pre-built ones for you to use. But virtual appliance itself, it's a pre-built size that's already incorporated in when we size out the Nutanix infrastructure. Harvey, can you hear us? Pete, I think it's on your side.
Do I have say that again?
Pete is saying his is chopping in and out, but I can hear everyone fine. I think it's on Pete's side.
Okay. I'll mute mine. See if that makes a difference.
No, it's not. It's not you.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to figure out why I'm in this loop. So here, let me show you where I am. All right, can you see my screen here? No, I can't move it. Can you guys see my screen?
Not yet.
This is fine. All right, give me a second. My Zoom is blocked up.
Well, Warren just helped out, so.
Okay.
Pete, up to you. Do you still want to do a lab since you're not a customer, you're a vendor?
I mean, if there's a lab guide, I guess I could do it at a later time.
Yeah. Harvey, if you put it on the chat again, Pete, you can spin up anytime you like.
Yeah, it looks like it's spun up, but there is no lab guide with it. It's just the Era screen themselves, but it doesn't tell you anything.
It should pop up where to click if Harvey can get it up.
I can hear you. My entire screen has frozen up, so I can't really do anything right now. And I don't want to mess it up because, of course, I'm doing.
We'll have to do a session reboot.
Right?
You can still record it since their customer's gone.
Oh, I wish I could. I can't do anything right now, but
Oh,
talk
wow.
to you.
Interesting.
That's all I can do. Let's see, give me just a second. Oh, I can't do
But yeah, Pete, try to click on something. Actually, can you share your screen with us? I guess you can't because you're a.
Yeah, I can't, but I'm in there right now, and I already clicked something that deploy a Postgres database, but there's no step-by-step lab guide.
Yeah, it's not a lab guide. It should pop up like a chat bubble.
I think it already stopped that chat bubble. But I'm in it. I mean, I could peruse around it because it's a lab anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't need you guys to hang around for that. So if you guys need to disconnect,
Yeah. Let us know. Connect with our channel. Team, you're based out of where again? Pete, sorry.
I'm in Chicago.
Okay. Yeah. Connect with the channel rep out in Chicago. I don't remember who it is, but he or she will can go through with you everything your Nutanix.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good.
Cool. Apologies for that. Appreciate you hopping on, Pete. And Harvey, I guess we can end it.
All right.
Yep. Hey,
Thank you.
look, I
Thank
got
you, guys.
I got the abilities back again.